Let's go to Ravens Flock. Welcome in to another edition of the Ravens Rundown. Tyler Jones here with you. So glad to have you with us. Coming up on today's show, we have the latest Baltimore Ravens news and rumors as we look ahead to the NFL playoffs for your Baltimore Ravens. Get an injury update on Lamar Jackson as well, coming up in just a few moments from right now. Before we do, folks, I know that yesterday's loss was not fun, but hit the reset button. It's playoff time now. So here's what I need you to do. If you want the Ravens to be winning playoff games, to go as far as they can, you need to subscribe. Sub for playoff dubs. Big announcement here on the show. We will have a watch party. Yes, for the Ravens and Bengals matchup. Our second watch party of the season. And if you've never been a part of a watch party, your mind is about to be blown, okay? You'll want to be here. Subscribe to the channel. Don't miss the watch party. Don't miss our daily news and rumors segments. It's all right here on the channel. Today, we start out with Lamar Jackson and his injury status. Will he play against the Cincinnati Bengals? Well, last night on Football Night in America, NBC Sports Pro Football Talk NFL insider Mike Florio gave us an update on the uncertainty surrounding Lamar Jackson and his status. Here's what Florio said. The team truly doesn't know whether or not Lamar will be available when they return to Cincinnati. Well, that backs up what John Harbaugh said a couple days ago when Harbaugh said, but the truth is we really just don't know. I know everybody's working as hard as they can. Lamar's working as hard as he can. Trainers are working as hard as they can. And can't wait for him to get back, obviously, just like everyone else. So that's where we're at. He won't be playing in this game, which was, of course, talking about the previous game against Cincinnati. And we'll hopefully for next week, and we'll see where we're at with him. Here's the deal. The truth of the matter is, the entire postseason, for the Ravens to have a chance, it all comes down to Lamar Jackson. That's simply put. If the Ravens are not going to have their franchise quarterback, who I have said many times in this program previously, is the most explosive player in the National Football League. If they don't have him, they're done. They don't have a shot. I'm sorry, but that's just it. I mean, you look at the numbers comparing him and Tyler Huntley. And, folks, it's just not close. Hopefully you have Tyler Huntley, because that debacle we saw from Anthony Brown was awful yesterday. Huntley, sure, 70% completion percentage. That's solid. But the offense just doesn't move the ball through the air. I mean, I might have a better time getting the ball downfield than Tyler Huntley. I might be the better Tyler at quarterback. Oh, jokes aside, this team's got to have Lamar Jackson. They have to. You can see with what he's able to do, not to mention what he does with his legs as well. I don't think this team can win this week or go very far at all if they do not have Lamar Jackson. If they have Lamar Jackson, then it's a whole different ballgame. More on that here in just a second. But you tell me here on the Ravens Rundown, can the Ravens win in the postseason without Lamar Jackson? If you think they can, type Y for yes. If not, type in for no. Let me know in the comments section. You might get an ad break. If so, take advantage of it. Get your votes in. Y for yes, in for no. Now, here's something interesting to think about. We have well documented that the last 2 years this Ravens team has dealt with a plethora of awful injuries. All bad luck has happened with this team. But J.K. Dobbins, since he came back, has been a different running back. But in that stretch that J.K. Dobbins has, as you can see, and they sat him out yesterday, but before that, of what he was able to do in the 2 games against Pittsburgh, against Cleveland and Atlanta, all those games were when Lamar Jackson did not play. Isn't this crazy to think about? We have not seen Lamar and J.K. both healthy at the same time. Here's what I point to, folks. You know, yes, this team sure has limitations. No question about it. But when it comes to scouting this team and knowing how good they are, we actually, here we are, it's playoff time now. And we, in all reality, don't know how good this team can be when they actually reach their full potential, their full ceiling, because we haven't seen it all year. Nobody's been healthy at the same time. Watch out. If they get Lamar back this week and J.K. together, Who knows what could happen? We just haven't seen it. I would be excited. Hopefully it works out. Speaking of injuries, another. Gus Edwards left yesterday's game with a head injury and did not return. We'll continue to follow his status later on in the week. But you look at the depth chart for the Ravens running backs. J.K., of course, is your number one guy. Patrick Ricard, got to give some love to the fullbacks in the show. Of course, is right there in that backfield, the Pro Bowl fullback. And then Gus Edwards, we mentioned with that injury, if Justice Hill or Kenyon Drake have to be the guy to fill in potentially, both of them have seen significant playing time this year. In fact, the only other running back not named J.K. Dobbins to have a 100-yard rushing game this year is Kenyon Drake. Gus Edwards came very close to having 100-yard yesterday, but didn't quite happen. So with that, what is your confidence level in Baltimore's run game right now? Be honest with me. 1 through 10. How would you scale your confidence in where this group is at when you factor in everything from the talent level to the injuries and everything in between? How confident you feeling about this group? I like this group. I really do. And, of course, Lamar adds a whole other element to the run game as well when he's out there. What's your confidence level? Let me know 1 through 10 in the Ravens rushing attack. You got to check out BetUS, the exclusive sportsbook partner of Chat Sports. If you go to chatsports.com/bet, enter the promo code CHAT125, you get a 125% deposit bonus. Ravens, they're an underdog this week in Cincinnati. So if you want to bet on your Ravens, there's some value there with the early lines. I like tonight in the national championship game in college football, TCU 12.5 against the Bulldogs. Should be a hell of a title game. I like Georgia to win, but if I'm placing bets, I'm putting the over, and I'm going TCU tonight to cover that 12.5-point margin as an underdog. Get your bets in now, chatsports.com/bet, promo code CHAT125. Now, with it being playoff time and a chance to hit the reset button of sorts, there's a new energy within this Baltimore Ravens team. Seeing the quotes that have come out just within the last several hours, you can feel the excitement that everybody is ready to move on after a disappointing end to the regular season with the Ravens losing back-to-back games, hoping to get Lamar Jackson back and contend for the playoffs. There's an excitement in the building, it would seem, there with the Ravens organization. Let's start with John Harbaugh. This is what Harbaugh said. That's our next step into the playoffs. That's what we've been preparing for, and we're looking forward to our opportunity. Everybody's 0-0 going forward. We can't wait to get started Monday probably. Tuesday is our first workout, and we'll be rolling. Justin Houston came very close to about a $500,000 payday, but they changed his sack from a sack to half a sack, but he's not worried about the money. He's talking playoffs as well. He's pretty excited. Says, I thought we played well, referring to the loss to Cincinnati on Sunday. They are really talented. We are now headed into the playoffs, so this game is behind us, and it really doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is the game next week. We'll see what we can do next week. Roquan Smith about the rematch with the Bengals, just a week apart from each other, might I add you, in the same building and everything. It was very high. We came up short, but I'm looking forward to next week seeing these guys again. I think it will be even sweeter than all the marbles. Win or go home next week, Ravens and Bengals. Here's what I want to know. How far are the Ravens going to go in the playoffs? Are they going to be one and done? Are we going to see them ultimately win the Super Bowl when it's all said and done? Chime in the comment section. How far will this team go in the postseason? Let me know in the comment section how you're feeling about your team. As always, you can interact with me, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Tyler Jones Live. Huge week on the channel, folks. That watch party is going to be something else coming up on game day, and we'll have previews and everything leading up to that game. Your home of the playoffs is right here on the Ravens Rundown. We will see you next time. Thanks for joining us here on the channel.